Well, well, well. Like Stain would say,
It's been a while.
because it has. In the background is a band that I discovered on my own. They are called Matte Black. Black is spelled weird with a V, whatever. And the album is called I'm Weaving, Not Drowning. So if you like some like goth rock, boom, with some electronics. But today is going to be my first album review, and I used to dabble with album reviews in the past with my previous channel that I had, and I only did like a small handful of them. I figured, you know what, new channel, new beginning, let's try something different, let's try this again. We're doing an album review today, and today's album review is none other than Take Me Back to Eden by the band Sleep Token, which officially dropped yesterday. I got my copy today. Here it is. It's the marble translucent variant, and if you wanted to know what that looks like, I will take the time to fucking do that. There you go. You happy now? But to give an insight on Sleep Token as a band, so Sleep Token is a metal band that started in 2016 from London, England. Their identities are hidden, they all wear masks. The band consists of 3 members, which their names are all Roman numeral based except for one, and that is the frontman, who goes by the name of Vessel. Vessel has proclaimed that the lore behind the band all started when he had an encounter with an entity who was named Sleep in a dream, with the promise of the glory and the magnificence if Vessel followed him. Okay. The band has, in the past, has mentioned that their influences come from Leprous, Agnet Fresco, Bon Iver, and Meshuggah. Yeah, Meshuggah. Which honestly makes sense, for they implement some like gent, if you will, in their music. Also, some people say that they sound like Deftones, Cult of Luna, Explosions in the Sky, and many others. And I agree on the Deftones, for I feel like they sound like Deftones, but heavier, like very, very heavy in terms of like retrospect. To pinpoint their genre is difficult because it's like prog, alternative, gent, post, indie, hip hop, R&B, electronic. It's all over the fucking place. Today I will be talking about Taking Back to Eden, and their first single was titled Chokehold. And honestly, that song was my first taste of Sleep Token. And just like the title of the song, it had me in a chokehold ever since. Yeah, I'm late for the bus ride, but I am a fan of Sleep Token. And I decided to hop on the ride, and yeah, no regrets. I even plan to see the band in September, because with bands from outside the US touring the state, it's always a challenge for the band because of work visas, customs, etc. It's just so painstaking for a band in general to tour here, and most bands don't even bother because of the struggle and the amount of effort it takes to even tour here. So they just say, fuck it, we're not going to deal with that at all. So I'm taking the chance to see them since they're making the attempt, because as the band likes to promote their performances as worshiping, I want to go and worship. Also, unlike some fucking bloke idiot who decided to rip ass. It wasn't even rip ass. They did fucking shit their pants. While Vessel was in the middle of singing a song titled Atlantic, which is from a previous album, This Place Will Become Your Tomb. And here's the clip. Vessel, I give you kudos, mate, because you kept composure and continued with the performance, whereas I would have been like, bro, you shitted your pants. Go get a fucking wet wipe. Go wash your ass, because you just fucking took a shit. Like, go. But let's dig into the album title, Take Me Back to Eden, which I will say is filled with a lot of emotion and delivered in various ways and forms. Chokehold, oddly enough, is the beginning of the album with its electronic-like beginning, and then a sudden entrance of Vessel's voice, which his voice is beautiful. Like, not trying to hit on the individual, but his voice is beautiful. He has a great clean singing voice with a massive range. It's also followed with a hip hop like beat, which is oddly like a great layer with everything going on, which at first when I was listening to the song, I was like, okay, this is some form of electronic hip hop band. And then the beat drops. You get like this massive overtake of bass, drums, guitars with a whammy effect, and it honestly does hit you like a Meshuggah song would. The tempo of the song is somewhat slow, but the song has a technical side. There is a technical side of the band, and it's usually within the drumming, which I honestly find something that is very interesting. For I personally picked up drums as my first instrument, and I always am fascinated with a drummer's technique, how they have the ability to have paradiddles, fills, 16th notes, and just what I would like to call the drummer's finesse. And it's really awesome to see how drummers perform every single song that they know how to perform when they're in involvement of a band, which the drummer of Sleep Token has done drum throughs of some Sleep Token songs, which I'll provide links below. But the song is beautifully composed, and like I said earlier, this song in its entirety was what made me a fan of the band and just made me want more. Give to me now. I want more now. Do it. Summoning is the second song of the album. It starts heavy, and I mean very heavy, and the vocals are just as prominent as Chokehold, but the song is where I feel Vessel's high clean singing comes through and shines so fucking bright. The music that carries his vocals in this song is just perfect. You get a nice scream that's distorted, then even more clearer when there's like double bass going on, chunky riffs, and ends with like a whisper of like lyrics and a nice guitar solo. This song is executed so well, and when I heard Summoning for the first time, I was like, how is this possible? How does this all blend flawlessly and just make sense? Like, how? I even struggle now try to figure out how it works, but it does. It definitely made me look up who Sleep Token was at this point, because I was saying to myself, why hasn't somebody mentioned this band to me? Like, why? Midway of the song, you get like this electronic vibe synth with some beats. It's almost trance-like, and then you get like a groovy jazz vibe with the instruments going on. It's just so weird how there's so much genre implementation with this band. It's so hard to pinpoint what the genre to put this band in. It's a challenge. The vocals just express some sort of like emotional battle between two people, and honestly captures the essence of the music being played. Granite is the third song. This song, I feel, is where the hip-hop elements come through, which is why it's hard to place this band in a genre, because it's a little bit of everything. It's a very emotional song between two people involving clearly a woman for sure. Maybe. I don't know, but that's just my opinion. The song is very strong when it comes to emotion and delivery. The song rhymes are solid. It's definitely a song that had like me bob in my head like, ooh, this is fucking good. I'm bobbing my head. I actually honestly enjoy hip hop and pop R&B, so the song definitely tackled that appreciation, and I was rather full after listening to Granite. Like, I'm full now, thanks. It's a song that did catch me by surprise. When the ending of the song ended with like a gent-like tone, the song continued with solid synth pieces that just carried the rest of the song towards the end, with the lyrics of the song just being the icing to the cake. The song is solid and literally has a little bit of everything. Aqua Regia is the fourth song. This song is another beautiful song off this album. Starts off with a piano synth that is very atmospheric. The vocals are clean, simple, and to the point. Very R&B like if I had to pinpoint it, with some jazz. That's the vibe I got. It's almost like as if you're walking into like, I don't know, like a smoke bar where you're about to have a cigar, a nice drink, and you're sitting in a fucking leathery comfy chair and there's music being played behind. That's Aqua Regia. The drumming is simple and it carries the song, and it does give more depth to the song. There's a piano solo in the middle of the song with some clean guitars. It gives the song such a powerful emotion, I feel. The song is definitely a song I personally feel. If you like that soul-hitting R&B that's like smooth, like smooth, you'd like Aqua Regia, for it's exactly that, and that's just my personal opinion on the song in itself. Vore is the 5th song. Now, this song was a song that blew me like completely out of the water. It is so ferocious of a song. It's deathcore in a way with how it's delivered, and it's almost as if it's like the angry song of the album because of so much like energy behind it, because it's so hard hitting. The vocals are just like very harsh screaming. There are some clean singing along with it, which just made me realize the versatility of Vessel's voice. It's almost like, if I had to compare it, it's almost like Michael from Opeth, how he used to do the roar with the clean singing. But this song is a perfect example of what Vessel is capable of doing as a vocalist, and hands down, the song has an escape, like part of some synth electronic, almost like feudal Japan sound, and it was hard to pinpoint, but it did capture my fucking attention. But the song Vore is probably a song that I thoroughly enjoy off this album. The ending of the song gives me a Deftones vibe, how they would normally end songs at like a very heavy hitting emotion vibe behind the song, and how Sleep Token does it, it's just perfect. It's perfect. This song is definitely a top 5 off this album for me personally. And like I said, this is probably one of, if not the heaviest song off this album. Ascensionism is the 6th song. Second longest song of the album, with it being a little over 7 minutes. The song starts with a sad tempo piano. The song is very sad in its delivery, but then the hip-hop R&B like vibe comes through, and it's something that I feel that this generation of music listeners would appreciate, because there's 808s and other typical stuff that is utilized in rap hip-hop nowadays, which I'm not very keen on, but hey, whatever, to each their own, right? This is another song that caught me off guard, because everything that I've been listening with this album in particular just was all over the place for me. This album just doesn't have one distinctive unison sound, where like a death metal record is a death metal record. It's fast, it's heavy, it's hard hitting. This album breaks that structure. You don't know what you're gonna fucking get hit with next, like unless you've listened to it a couple of times. But if you are a first listener, you have no fucking idea when you're gonna get punched in the face next. If I had to give an analogy, if I had to, I don't know. Anyway, this song is a song that I feel just fits a mood. Like, you know when you're in a mental state and you just need that song to like personal soundtrack? Ascensionism's probably that. It fit that category very well. There's a nice blend of the original beat of the song that's welcomed with a very hard-hitting metal sound, almost like Crowbar, if I had to like pinpoint like the sound. It has like a nice slow chuggy riff that like Jen tends to do, like it's like nuts. But then you get a tempo of soundscapes of how the song started to follow afterwards. This song is the epitome of a roller coaster ride. It ends like as if you're coming down from that like last massive hill when you think the ride is all over, but you're like, oh shit, this is scary. Very solid song, and a very dynamic song off this album. Are You Really Okay is a song that follows after Ascensionism. There's a welcoming of some acoustic guitar. It's subtle, and there's calming vocals of Vessel within the song. This song, when listening to the lyrics, it made me get the impression that someone is being saved from self-harm. Self-harm is something that a lot of people face, and it's common. Sometimes we don't have that ability to save someone or be saved from such events. Sometimes we need that to be asked at times if we're okay, and if we're really okay. Some people hold that answer to themselves for judgmental reasons, pride, whatever the case may be. But I feel that if you ever need that question to be asked and don't want to be judged, this song will do it. But it's never good to lie about being okay when you're not. It's okay to be honest, and it's okay to be kind to yourself. Because at the end of the day, you have people in your life to help you. But you can only help you to the fullest extent. If you ever feel like you need further help, call this number, 1-800-273-8255. Apparition is the 8th song. How this song is, you have 808s, hip-hop like vibes. Again, this generation of music listeners would appreciate the song a bit due to its delivery, I feel. But this song just adds to the versatility of the band as a whole. This song has a nice metal introduction to it as well, with very clean highs from Vessel to carry and elevate it to angelic fucking proportions, sending you to the skies even for a journey of flight, if I had to like simplify how this song is. With Sleep Token, I myself get those moments where I'm about to be lifted and carried through the skies, and when I feel like I'm being like in Safe's arms, I'm dropped just to be swooped in time before I fucking hit the ground. This song actually captures that feeling and experience 100%. Sometimes that I feel is what makes Sleep Token unique. The 9th song, DYWTYLM, or acronym for Do You Wish That You Loved Me? This song is very interesting. You get a lot of electronics with the song, but oddly it's executed well. Like, with lyrics carrying it, also how it's delivered is just simplistically fucking beautiful, man. Like, I feel that this song is more of personal questions that Vessel is asking someone he personally knows, which he tries to translate it in song form, and this song is it. Almost as if he wants someone that he loves to love him back, or asking that person if they wish to love him and make him feel in ways that he'd like to be. It's clearly something that I've noticed with some of Vessel's lyrics, is that it's about emotion. Whether if it's positive, negative, or in some human form, it's prominent and so relatively clear always. Rain is the next song to follow. This song I feel comes from someone who is damaged. That's asking for someone that they care about to help them fix them. I know that's something that's common, and yeah, I know it's not one's job to fix someone, and no one is someone's therapy or doctor, but I feel sometimes people need guidance, and through the conception of relying on a significant other is often like flip-flopped ideally. Some say it's wrong, some say it's not. The whole point of a relationship is that you're there for who you're with no matter what. You signed this agreement. Though not just through good times, but also bad. We're all human, we're all flawed in some way, shape, or form, and yes, there are severity of it at times. But another thing that isn't grasped is understanding and patience. Some people need that extra work, and at times having someone there for you out of love is all that a person needs to push to better themselves. I personally know what that feels like. This song is honestly something that I feel captures that exact notion. A damaged person asking for guidance to give them a chance and to understand them. Having patience with them, and in return, appreciation, devotion, love is in return, is pretty much what would be given if such an opportunity was given to a person that was dealing with a multitude of things. Some people want in today's society exactly that, but we're all afraid to ask because we don't want to be judged. Take Me Back to Eden is the second to last song and the longest song on the album. This song starts with a soundscape of bliss. It's calming. Another thing that I find common with Sleep Token is that usually their songs start off in a calm setting, almost like the calm before the storm. Or when the storm comes and it hits, there's sometimes a buildup, sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's directly in your fucking face. Or sometimes it's just the calming aftermath of the storm after it passes. But this song has a lot of layers, from the calming introduction to the nice transition of the gent metal aspect of the band, then some 808s hip hop side. It's a display of the band has to offer, but all at once. Also, the ending is very heavy hitting, mosh pit worthy. Like, it's definitely something that when I was listening to the song, it brought me that smug face, like that. The song has a lot of elements, layers, and pieces that just fit like a massive puzzle. This song displays a lot of what Sleep Token as a band is capable of, and it's relatively clear that it is a lot. It might be overwhelming to those who aren't open to genres of music, but if you are, this song will probably be the one that I feel like you should listen to first. Regardless of what your preference is, you will appreciate this song in some fucking manner. I surely did, and I generally come from a mainly metal background, so take a listen to this fucking song and reflect on that, I guess. Uslid, I believe that's how it's fucking pronounced, hopefully, is the very last song on this album. This song starts very beautifully with some piano and clean vocals. There's even some auto-tune vocal distortion to the song. Regardless, it's fucking nice. I love the piano work behind Sleep Token. It's beautifully composed, and kudos to the synth player. Bravo. Like, unpredictable of the band, the metal aspect of this band shines at the most unexpected fucking times. Every time that it does, it's always awesome, honestly, because it's like a nice fucking surprise. This song is such a good ending to the material. It's a happy ending, but also an emotionally driven song. This song is like a perfect cherry on top, for it gives a nice certain fall of like a curtain to the performance of this band on this album. It's subtle, but it's also heavy, but not too heavy. It's fucking perfect. My final thoughts on Take Me Back to Eden by Sleep Token is this. It's an emotionally powerful album. It has so many elements, so many layers, and so much to offer on a multitude of aspects. Despite other opinions that other people have on this fucking band and how they perform, they actually do a great job by taking a lot, and I mean a lot, of musical paths to smash it into one being. It's definitely something that you have to be very open with music. If you just listen to one type of music, it may not be your taste. But if you want to experiment yourself and dip your toes into the water, if I had to say, Sleep Token is a good introduction and a very solid one when it comes to experimental music. That's where I would classify Sleep Token, is experimental and also very dynamic, because it's nothing like I've heard before. The band takes things from a various list of genres and somehow make it work. Based on the fact of how the band is, where it's shrouded in mystery and how they are often at times very cryptic, it just adds more layers to the band. This album was surely a ride for me, but it ended so quickly that even I knew it began, and not only that, I wanted to get back in line as soon as the ride ended to go for another fucking ride. I will say that I look forward to seeing Sleep Token in September, and when the time comes, I can't wait to worship in person, for that is an experience, and I know that when the time comes, it's going to be an awesome experience in the flesh. This album, I will say, without a doubt, is a solid Album of the Year candidate for 2023. Where will it be? I don't know. I can't really say. But on a scale of 1 to 10, this album is a solid 9. I know with more time it'll be more than that, but with me listening to the singles and now the full album at my disposal, it was hard for me not to give it a good rating and a review. This album is emotionally powerful, and just like the material itself, it's powerful and perfectly fucking executed. Good job, Vessel and the rest of Sleep Token. You've outdone yourselves with this release. More importantly, got another person to fucking worship. See you in September, Sleep Token, when you get to play in Worcester at the Palladium. And for the rest of you, see you in the next video.